Did you know that Dead Island 2 first was announced in 2014 with a famous trailer of a jogger running through LA pursued by zombies? Sadly, this version never saw the light of day and was cancelled a couple of years later. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos and opinions, make sure you visit TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode 161. My name's Gareth Briley, I'm going to be your host. And on my virtual left is Mr. Neil Watson. How you doing, Neil?
Oh, hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. On my virtual right is Mr. Richard Dobson. How you doing, Richard?
I'm good also. How are you?
What's this robotic thing you two doing? It's like the AI. It's like we're doing an AI chatbot for the podcast. Hello, I am fine. On my virtual opposite is Mr. Paul Renshaw. How you doing, Paul?
Hello, I am fine. Thank you for asking, Gareth. How are you?
I would have been so disappointed if you wouldn't have done that. It was good. It did. That's great.
Comedy gold, mate. Comedy gold.
Good. Now, before we start, I just want to say when we do a little tease because we've got a giveaway coming up that we're going to come to in about 40 minutes or 45 minutes into the podcast. So stick around for that. There's something very nice on offer.
Or fast forward to the 45-minute mark.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say that, Neil.
You just stick around anyway. Never mind the giveaway. Stick around for the quality Xbox game-related chat.
Thank you, Paul. That's exactly it. Neil, what have you been doing this week?
Just come back off holiday. Went away over Easter with the family down to Bridport, down on the south coast. That was nice. Other than that, been watching bits of telly. Watched Blue Lights on BBC. I think
that's meant to be good, isn't it? Is that good?
Yeah, it was all right. I think it was about 5 or 6 episodes, and it was about a decent length. So I didn't want any more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was okay.
As good as a bill?
Not as good as the Bill. You know my love for the Bill.
What about Hill Street Blues?
Bill forevermore, but no, not as good as the Bill. I did sit there watching it, thinking that the woman from Doctor Who was in it, until I asked Gemma in maybe the 4th episode, "Is that Doctor Who?" She said, "No, it's not Doctor Who." So you know what I'm like with actors and actresses. I haven't got a clue, but no, it's good. It's good.
Okay, good. Good. Blue Lights. There you go. What about you, Richard? What's your week been like?
Last night, Laura and I drove over to Manchester. We went to go see Paramore and Block Party at the Arena. Laura's a big fan of Paramore. I'm a big fan of Block Party. So when Paramore announced that Block Party were going to be supporting them, I think this gig was a bit of a no-brainer for us. But yeah, it was really good. Both played excellently. There was a real good atmosphere amongst the crowd, and yeah, just good to see 2 really good bands doing what they do best. Really,
I'm jealous of Richard's life. He's got a good life. He's always at gigs and doing stuff.
He's young though, he's young, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's got the energy. You don't want to be in bed by 9:30.
Good. That's good. Come on, Richard. What about you, Paul?
I have had the worst week ever.
It's more like it.
Honestly.
Tell us about it,
Right, I'll tell you all about it. Are you sitting comfortably?
Yeah.
Right, well, it started off on Saturday. My car started making this really horrible sort of screeching noise. And I had no idea what it was. I took it to Quick Fit and he went, "Sure, sorry, mate, I've got no suppliers open, so I can't do anything." I was like, well, screw you then. So I took it to my friendly mechanic on Monday. It's always good to have a friendly mechanic. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I know exactly what that is." I said, "What is it? It sounds like the end of the world." And he said, "Yeah, when the brake pads are getting a bit low on these Vauxhalls, there's a little bit of metal inside that rubs on the brake disc and it sounds absolutely dreadful. It makes you get it checked through." So I was like, well, yeah, it certainly worked. So that I had to have new brake pads in my lovely Vauxhall. So that's some more expenditure I wasn't expecting. And then I went fishing on the Sunday and managed to snap the tip of one of my expensive rods, which also made me sad.
Uh-oh.
And then I came downstairs this morning after going to bed last night, and the telly had decided that it was going to break. So all in all, I need to have a new tip for my rod. I've had to go and buy a new telly, and I've had to have work done on my car this week. So I have no money, and if anyone wants to start a GoFundMe, it'll be gratefully accepted.
Good. Oh, Paul. The good news is...
I laugh about it now. The good news, I do have good news.
Yeah,
a little health update. I went in to see the nurse at the doctor's today for my very first ever diabetic foot check, which is apparently a thing. When you have the diabetes, you have to have your feet checked to make sure they're not going to fall off. And it turns out that my feet are not going to fall off anytime soon. So that was a little bit of good news.
Brilliant. Swings and roundabouts.
Absolutely, mate.
Good. Just to remind everyone, we're a gaming podcast, so we'll get to that in case you just tuned in.
Nobody cares about games.
No, they don't. What have I done? I've just been watching stuff this week and working, but I watched, like everyone has, well, I doubt these three have, maybe, Succession.
No.
It's on its last series of 4 series, and there's an episode that happened, episode 3, I won't say what happened, but it's probably one of the best bits of TV. One of the best episodes in TV. It's very worth watching if you haven't watched it before.
Can you tell me about this? Because I keep looking at the thumbnail on my telly, and I think, is that The Apprentice? I don't like The Apprentice. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Is it The Apprentice?
What you're seeing on your TV?
the thumbnail.
It depends what channel you're on.
What? So I'm guessing what thumbnail you're looking at.
No, the thumbnail for Succession looks like The Apprentice.
Well, yeah, because it's about sort of business people. But
I have no idea. No idea.
But it might be, if it's on BBC, it's not Succession.
Oh,
there you go. It's probably The Apprentice.
Good Lord. Is Succession The Apprentice?
Yeah.
No, Neil, they're different things.
Darren has taught me through The Apprentice. I know everything about it.
Good. Yeah, don't. This Succession is just rubbish. It's just people in a boardroom getting shouted at. That's basically what Succession is as well. So you're not too far off. But good, yeah, definitely watch Succession if you haven't done it. No one's going to watch it. Richard, have you seen it?
No, I don't have Sky Atlantic. Otherwise, I probably would watch it.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. There we go. Let's talk about games. Let's get on to games. That's what we're here for. Who should we start with? Let's start with Neil. Neil, what have you got? What's your first one?
You can start with me if you want. I've been playing Dredge. Last time I was on here, I think I said I was looking forward to playing Dredge. And so I decided to buy it on Steam, actually, just so I could play it while I was away on the Steam Deck. I thought, it seems to be like a really nice little fit for the Steam Deck. And it's really very good. It's a fishing game. So Paul obviously loves it, even though I doubt he's played it.
He's never played it, yeah.
No, but you would love it, Paul.
Okay.
Fishing game from Team 17, but it's more like Moonglow Bay, which came out maybe, when did that come out? 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that maybe. But kind of a bit darker and a bit more kind of grotesque. So you go out on your little boat and you travel between these islands. You follow fetch quests, basically. But as you're out, you come up to these fishing spots. You cast your rod out and you play a little mini game. And then you win a fish. But what that fish could be anything. And the aim is to fill out this kind of encyclopedia type book thing that you've got with all the different fish in. So some of them are kind of like weird mutated ones, etc. Other ones are just plain old cod. Yeah, it's really addictive. So like I say, I've been playing it on Steam Deck, and it fits there really well. Dave did a review on the Xbox version for us, and I think he gave it 4.5 out of 5. So that tells you how good it is. But yeah, a really addictive little game.
It's getting some great reviews, and people are loving
Is
it.
it?
I think,
I haven't
everywhere.
I haven't read any other reviews anyway.
I think it's going to be one of those sort of game of the years that people like. Is there a story to it, or is it just?
Yeah. There's a story. There's loads of different objectives. There's loads of missions. So you go from one island to the next, and they'll say, "Oh, you need to go round the back of this island. You might find something new." So you do that, and then you get sent off on another quest, etc.
Right.
But while you're sailing in the daytime, it's all nice and safe and whatever. When it turns to the night, all the horrendous creatures come out, and the darkness comes in, and you're best sleeping at that point. But that's also the time when the best fish come out. So it's kind of a risk-reward type thing where you need to decide when you want to go out and for how long, basically.
It's like where I live.
A bit like London.
Yeah. Deceptive fish. It's milk.
Yeah, there's no fish in London.
Good. I really want to play this. I'm thinking,
yeah, do it. It's really good. I think it's about 20 quid on Xbox.
I think
it's about the same on Steam.
I think it'll be on Game Pass in 6 months. I've got a feeling. I don't know why.
It'll probably be on Game Pass. Yeah.
Good. I look forward to that, Dredge. Richard, you got a big game, haven't you? Really to talk about?
Yeah. Dead Island 2.
Oh.
My review came out for that yesterday, and I've just had an absolute blast with it. Reading some of the other reviews, I think a lot of people. I saw someone give it a 5 out of 10 and completely missed the point of what Dead Island was supposed to be about. But it's just appealed to me on killing zombies creatively and in the most horrific way possible, probably. It's been a while since it got announced. I think it was 2014 it got announced. Finally here, having swapped developers 3 or 4 times, so it was always a bit of a surprise to see it in any finished state, but it's here, and I've had a really good time with it. It's just fun. I've killed thousands of zombies, and not at one point have I thought, you know what, this is getting a bit repetitive now. Just the creative ways that you can go about killing these zombies using either environmental things that are about. There's electricity, there's flammable things, there's all sorts of different ways to kill them, and then obviously it's got this whole loot system where everything's tied, your weapons are tied to your level, so as you progress these weapons get stronger, and it sort of keeps you in check that way so you can't go too overboard crafting these massive weapons that'll just destroy everything in one hit. But you can apply all these different elemental things to these weapons that you craft, and then there's all these different types of zombies. I don't remember the original Dead Island having such a wide variety of zombies, but the zombies that are just constantly on fire, so they're obviously immune to fire damage. There's a brilliant bit towards the end of the game, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but when you get to Santa Monica Pier, obviously the fun fair that's there isn't working at the moment, but you need to then get it working, and then something happens, and it's full of these like really good tense moments interspersed with this like B-movie pulpy comedy horror atmosphere as well. And yeah, just had a really, really good time with it. Almost in a position where I want to go through it again, just with different characters to see if it's any different. Don't know what else to say. Really, it's just had such fun with it.
You said a lot. Neil's dog Fraser is a big Dead Island fan. Wanted to get involved. Can I ask a question? Is it like a massive open world from the beginning, or is it like smaller sort of open world bits that you progress through?
Yeah, it's similar to the first one. So there's 10 different areas that you need to explore and complete the missions and the story through. So it's not one big open world. It's these these small, I say small, they're still fairly large areas, but they're all connected to each other. And then about halfway point, you unlock fast travel, which helps you with a lot of the side quests and these lost and found quests, which don't give you markers necessarily for your next objective. You need to take in your surroundings and find clues and things like that, which are interesting in themselves. But yeah, it's not one big open world. It's little smaller areas all connected to one another.
Oh, okay, good. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Paul.
Is it more polished than the first game? And if so, has it lost its sort of charm?
It is a lot more polished, but it hasn't lost its charm. I do remember the first one being a bit rough and ready.
It really was, but it was good fun nonetheless.
Yeah, and this one's similar. It's taken that same approach of you're doing much more melee-based killing than the first game, than other zombie titles. But you don't. There's not. I think there was only one or two bugs that I encountered, and they were bugs that they were already aware of. And then there was a day one patch to fix everything like that. So there shouldn't be anything really that crops up as an issue. I think they've done a really good job with it.
Excellent.
Good. Oh, I got like an earthquake noise then. There's a hum noise, but yeah, good. I was going to get under the desk. Right, Paul, what have you got?
I have got the new thing. Let me get my words together. Hang on, I'm still distressed from having to spend so much money on this bloody telly. I've got the new DLC for Vampire Survivors called Tides of the Foscari, and I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's more Vampire Survivors, which is always a good thing. It's taken over my life again. Because it's just so addictive. I mean, you've all played it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you know what it's like, and then having new stages and new characters to find, it's just more of the same, but it's even better. So yeah, I'll be writing a review very shortly, but it's just great.
Are you playing it on your phone?
I have made a mistake and downloaded it to my phone. Yeah,
that's madness.
I've also discovered that playing it through the Game Pass app on my phone, the touch controls work really well.
Oh wow!
So you can never be more than 2 yards away from Vampire Survivors.
Where's Paul? Why's Paul in the loo for so long? Is that going on?
I'm not even taking the phone to the loo at work anymore. It's just like, no, I can't, because I'll be in there for half an hour.
Yeah.
So no, it's just don't do it, kids. It's worse than heroin.
Good, very good. What have I got? Murderous Muses. Now, Murderous Muses is by a studio I always forget how to say. DeVecchi Studios. Yeah, DeVecchi Studios. And they're very good people. They do full motion video games, which I'm a big fan of. I think I've just reviewed their game, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I'm a big FMV fan, but there has been a point when I've gone lately. The video stuff they do is brilliantly, really well filmed, and some of them better than others, but really great stuff. But you generally go, does that character go left or does that character go right? And I think I've said in a few reviews in the past that maybe they need to go beyond that. And the last few games, people have really started to push that genre. I think I talked last time about Not for Broadcast, which really played with the whole what you can do with the TV studio, and this one does here as well. As Murderous Muses, you're on this fictitious island, and you're in charge of an art gallery. You're sort of like the guard. You're looking after the place, and so a lot of the game is done like a normal first person sort of adventure game. You're kind of walking around the gallery. You've got tasks to do, like hang all these paintings in the right place, and so it's almost like a little adventure game. And then when nighttime comes, the world changes into this kind of more surreal kind of place. And this artist who they're celebrating in the gallery was murdered and the last 6 portraits he did are of 6 characters, and your task is to work out which one of these 6 characters committed the murder. And so you, at night in this strange world, they come alive in small video clips, and you've got to try to piece together, as sort of the full motion video, all these little elements to work out who committed the murder. But at the same time, every time you play it, it's procedurally generated. Things can swap around as well. So it really does. You really need to do a few more playthroughs. I mean, each playthrough would take you a couple of hours, but I did about 4 in the end, and I really enjoyed going back because you're doing different tasks and doing different things and seeing different video clips. But what's really nice about this company, which I like Full Motion, they've almost got like a repertory of actors they use. There's a couple of actors that have been in. Quite a few of them from Dr. Decker. Is that one of their ones? I'm trying to think of a really old one.
Yeah, they worked with Wales Interactive before.
That's right. Yeah,
Dr. Decker and the other one.
Shapeshift. Yeah, Poe Monroe, Shapeshifter Detective. Now, Poe Monroe is really successful. I love Poe Monroe. Really kind of cheesy, but really good supernatural sort of tales that are unexpected. They've got a little reference. One of the actors comes back from that. He's brilliant. So yeah, it's great. If you like full motion video, I give this a go. I mean, one of the things I think they're patching at the moment, I said, is if you could get lost quite quickly. It's like the puzzles are quite hard and they're working it out, and they don't give enough hints, first of all, but I think they're making changes to those patches because I think everyone said that. But good, Murderous Music's out now. Yeah.
Sounds absolutely dreadful.
It's brilliant, Paul. It's brilliant if you like that full motion video games, like me and the rest of the world. Good.
I think it's just you, Gareth.
It's just me, isn't it? It's just me.
I remember Paul saying that he's played all the full motion video games since 1986 or something.
Yeah, and I said that Pit Fighter is still the best.
Neil, have you got another game?
Yeah, how many have we got? 1 or 2?
You can have one.
Let me have one then. I will, without jumping too much on Richard's parade, I suppose. I've been playing EA Sports PGA Tour. Been looking forward to this one ever since I sat in on a presentation from EA a couple of months back. And at the time I thought, this looks like it's going to be really good. It was either going to be EA right on it or EA messing up. And luckily they are right on it with this one. Richard's done his review. He's given it a 4 out of 5. I agree wholeheartedly with it. It's a very good golf game. Few little issues, but nothing really to write home about. But yeah, if you like a golf game, this is nailed on to be played.
Oh. Have you played it online yet? That's what I'm interested in.
No, I still haven't. I've probably only played maybe 3 or 4 rounds just offline, just working my way through the stuff. Mostly been playing the challenges. I think the challenges are really good. There's so many of them.
Right. Okay.
But no, I haven't played it online.
When will it be on Game Pass for all of us to play against each other?
Oh, you're looking at
a year,
6-8 months away, probably.
Okay. All right. Christmas time. That's like Christmas party.
Yeah,
golf.
Yeah.
That's sorted out then.
Yep. That's good. Thank you, Neil. Richard, what's your... Oh, I can see what your next one is. Tell us all about it.
At the opposite end of the spectrum from Dead Island is Coffee Talk 2, which my review is out now, and I think the game is out as you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when we're recording it today, so it'll be out tomorrow. I'm getting myself very confused now, but yeah.
I like the way you went. If you're listening to this, it's like some meta thing.
It's out.
Yeah.
Coffee Talk 2 is out now.
Good.
And it's in Game Pass along with the first one as well, so they're both in there now. And I had a few issues with it, if I'm being completely honest.
No.
So I know that at the start of the year, this was probably, I think on the podcast, this was one of 2 or 3 of my most anticipated games of the year. But it just couldn't compare to the first one for me. I think that was the main issue with it here. There was a lot of things in the first game that were discussed between the characters that were quite not hard-hitting issues, but quite real-world issues, and they were done quite well between the characters based on the fact that they're all of a fantasy nature. So there's orcs, satyrs, and vampires and everything else in there. This one, it doesn't really play on that so much. So one of the new characters is simply a content creator that's looking for branching out his channel into something new, who then meets a banshee in the coffee shop, and she's struggling a bit trying to get her name out there as she's aiming to be an opera singer. And I just felt that these stories weren't as applicable to the first game so much. And you've got many of the returning characters from the first game as well, but there's one or two that aren't in the second one that were in the first one that would have been a lot better, because they seem to be like the fan favorites. So it was a strange decision why they're not in it, if that makes sense. I understand perhaps that they obviously didn't have a story for them in this situation, but what the stories that they do then come up with for these characters and how they all fold in together, it's not as good. It's not as good as the first one. But I think because I held the first one I regarded it so highly, I don't think it was ever going to compare to it. But even then, I think it is a little bit disappointing in how not worse, but just everything that was good about the first game for me is lacking a little bit in the second one. They've tried to do a couple of new things, but nothing too drastic. But I don't think the things that I loved about the first game are present as much in the second one.
Oh no, it's made me sad. Did the guy die as well? Who made it? Who developed it?
One of the main guys, yeah. So there's a nice touching tribute to him at the end, and then if you go into the gallery where you can view all the art, there's a really, really nice picture and a tribute to him in there as well.
Okay.
I think that was one of the reasons why it's been delayed a little bit.
Right. Oh, there you go, Richard. Sorry about that. Okay.
Blimey.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Made us all sad. Paul, lift our mood. Lift our mood from this.
Lift your mood. Well, I've got a choice of two games I can talk about. One I've played a little bit and I'm not getting on with. And I've got another one that's really quite easy. So I think I'm probably going to go for the easy one and sort of give the other one the benefit of the doubt for a bit. So the game I've been playing is called Ultra Pixel Survive. And basically, if you can imagine Minecraft, but pixel art and 2D in style, then basically you've got Ultra Pixel Survive. There's a day-night cycle. When it's the daytime, you have to go out and gather resources, wood, stone, whatever it is. And then when it's nighttime, all the monsters come and you have to try and stay alive. And you can't even, in Minecraft, you can go to bed and hide and wait until morning. You can't do that in this game.
Right.
If you go into the save area where the bed is, the woman that stood there goes, "Don't think you can hide in here till morning. Get out there and do some fighting." So yeah, basically that's pretty much it. So fight some things, gather some things, make some things, all in a lovely sort of pixel art style. It's
like a 2D world, isn't it? Rather than
like it's a side-scrolling sort of thing, 2D, and it's okay. It's one of those games that just throws achievements at you for absolutely nothing. Well done, you've chopped a tree down. Have 50G.
It's a Ratalaika Games game, so
is it a Ratalaika? I couldn't remember who it was, but right, okay. Well, that all makes perfect sense then. So yeah, it's the very definition of okay. It's not going to set the world on fire, but it's a perfectly reasonable way to spend, a couple of hours just chopping trees down and smashing rocks up.
There you go. It's cheap as well.
There you go.
Cheap as chips.
And it's cheap as well. Chips aren't cheap these days.
Well,
Have you seen how much potatoes have gone up?
Oh, that's true. Good. Ultra Pixel Survive. I was going to chat about the exit, but I'll maybe chat about that next week. I'm just going to mention briefly Resident Evil 4 remake, which Darren reviewed and we talked about last week. I finished it, right? And I remember saying last time, I've played it years ago, and I don't remember much of it. It's quite a new experience for me. I didn't play it. I played probably about an hour of it, I think, because all I remember from the first one was being in the village, and that was it.
Yeah.
So when the village bit ended, I was like, oh, near the end of the game now. No. No, it's a big old game, isn't it? I could see why people, even thinking back to the day where people were so loved about it, because it does do a lot of kind of amazing stuff. And this remake's very good. And good fun, even though there's lots of people complaining about, I don't know, they can't see up the woman's skirt, I don't know what it is. But there's something always people, it's annoyed me more than
That's life, isn't it?
yeah, it's mad. Someone's voice has changed or something. I don't know what it is. And but it's very good. It's a really good thing. It's annoyed me a bit this year, especially with my thing about Never Go Back. That two of the best games I've played this year are remakes: the Dead Space and this. Yeah, that's annoying me quite a bit. But they're very good.
They always go back.
They always go. Never go back was my thing. Never go back.
Yep. But you're going to have to change it now, aren't you? To always go back.
Well, I didn't play these
games of the year.
I didn't play these games before. So I never played Dead Space or this one. So they're like
doesn't
new
change the fact that they're
really.
remakes, Gareth. Just because you didn't play it.
For me, I haven't gone back. I've gone forward with the
for God's
developers.
sake.
Yeah.
You should be a politician.
I know. That's our games. We're going to do some news. Now, we're going to just do a little catch-up on the last week of stuff. So I'm going to just do, first of all, the first one I want to chat about is Suicide Squad. Now, as we finished last week, I think this came out maybe the next day. Suicide Squad, in case you don't know, you probably do know, the Kill the Justice League was meant to be coming out on May the 26th. And as expected, it's been delayed till February next year, which is a strange thing. Were we surprised, Richard? I know you were talking about this, saying this is going to be delayed a few months back. Were you surprised by this?
Not even slightly. Just, I think the response to the state of play hasn't. I think it would have been delayed anyway. I don't think the response to the state of play has made that delay even longer than perhaps people would have thought. Like I would have expected to see it delayed to the end of this year, but that state of play just looked very generic. And to say that they've been working on this for the best part of 9 years, yeah,
9 years.
Is that how long it's been going?
Well, they finished 9 years ago the other Batman. That's what I haven't had any other game. They did the VR Batman, didn't they? And that was the only other game that the company's come up with. Yeah.
Blimey.
I mean, we all talked about this in the podcast before when we saw the state of play, and we were like, it was very weird that PlayStation did that as their state of play, as it's a multi-platform game, and that it's been delayed. It's really odd. Yeah, I think we said a bit before. We only saw a kind of big section of it. We didn't see the whole thing, but it did feel like a rinse repeat. We had that feeling of Avengers, didn't we? The Avengers game about it. Yeah. Neil, what do you think? What do you weren't going to play this?
I couldn't care less about Suicide Squad.
No.
I'm not going to play it. I don't know who they are. I don't know who the Justice League is. I don't know anything like that. I've got a big issue with the date they've given, which is the 2nd of February. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, that to me, we're currently in April. That to me is somebody sitting there in an office, sticking their hand up in the air and seeing which way the wind blows and says, right, that Friday in February will do. Where'd that come about?
I think...
Just say early 2024 or just say February 2024.
But the reason they said that, I think, and I totally agree with you, I think the reason they said this, because if they went, it's coming in 2024 or even early 2024, people are going, that game's never coming out. It's in so much trouble.
That doesn't matter, though. They've left themselves open. It's going to get pushed again, isn't it?
Yeah. But they had to put something there to go. This game isn't doomed because it had a very much the agenda for it was quite like this game's awful. It's going to be it's doomed on arrival. So they were trying to get a handle on it. I suppose. I totally agree. I think it's the wrong choice.
Yeah, I just think they're bowing down to public pressure, really, aren't they? That to be able to pick a certain date, some 10 months in advance, is ridiculous.
I think also, and Paul, I'll get to you now. I think also that one of the issues with this being almost like even though it says single player, just looking at that, it feels like very much like a co-op experience. That's where it feels like it comes alive. Maybe we don't know, but maybe sometimes when people are so down that they're worried, we need to build up that we need to get people playing it, or it's not going to be what they expected that game to be. It needs to be an online experience. Paul, what did you think?
I'm struggling to care, to be honest. It's not something I'm going to play. It's not something I'm awfully concerned about. I agree with you guys that they just pull a random date out of the air is a bit weird. But, if a game needs more time to be polished, then it should have that time. That's my only sort of take on it. If they think it's not going to work in the current state, then by all means take more time and make it better. If we get a better game at the end of it, then yeah, it's fine. I'm not worried.
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that.
I personally don't think, and maybe Richard, I personally don't think it's not the case like a Starfield when it wasn't ready and they did that. I think it was because they wouldn't have done that state of play. And I think it was, but the reaction from that state of play was so much that I think they're changing some stuff. This is my personal feeling. Sorry, Richard.
Yeah, I think that date is the definitive date, because I think at this point they can't change, even though they've delayed it 10 months. They can't change too much about it without going back to brick with it, essentially. So I just think they just need to change what they can in that 10 months, get it out there. But I'm worried that because they're, like I say, they've spent that long on it since Arkham Knight came out, that it's not going to turn a profit. And part of me is worried for the future of Rocksteady as a studio.
Wow, there we go. Good. I'm going to just talk about the state of play we did see last week, Thursday, because I think you, Paul, and Richard might have a little moan about this.
That's not like us.
But I watched it a 20-minute little. I know Richard didn't want to watch it because he didn't want to spoil anything more. I watched a 20-minute trailer for the Final Fantasy game coming out in June. I think it was probably showing too much of it now. I think I'm with Richard on this, but what I saw was very impressive. I am quite excited about this game. I'm quite excited about going to that world. It looks really good fun. Don't need to see anything more. I think they're going to do even more stuff, showing bits. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Who wants to rant first? Richard, you rant first.
Well, I ended up watching it, even though I said I wouldn't. I knew deep down, I was like, well, if I don't watch it live, I am just going to find it and later on and watch it. So I watched it. Was very impressed. I think my rant is Final Fantasy related, but it's to do with the pixel remasters that have come out this week. So I don't know if that's appropriate for this time.
Do it.
Right. Well, you've asked for it then.
Oh no.
Strap yourselves in, listeners.
Yeah.
So my issue with the pixel remasters that have come out this week is that Square Enix have announced them for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, and they're out today on those systems. They did a physical edition for them, but I think they must have made about 17 copies of each one because they were gone straight away. I managed to snag a PS4 physical edition, but it's not arrived today. They've not even shipped it. So I sent them a support case whilst I was at the gig yesterday, saying, "Look, guys, release date's tomorrow. Why have I not received the shipping notification?" And their response was, "Well, a release date is more of an estimation."
Wow.
And I'm like, no, I would disagree with that. I would say if you're saying that a game's coming out on this day, I should be able to play what I've bought on that day. Bearing in mind they charged me for it 3 weeks ago before the release date had even been announced, and said, we're charging you for it now. The release date's coming, but we're not ready to announce it.
Yeah.
So they've had plenty of time, and yeah, I'm disappointed today with them.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're excited about Final Fantasy 16.
Yes. I've ordered that from Amazon though. I'm not
good.
bothering with them
Good.
lot anymore.
Good. Paul, what's your rant?
Well, it's not so much a rant as a sort of why do they do it? You know, you hear.
Who's this? The government?
No, the Square Enix.
Right, I'm sorry.
The government's doing a cracking job. I won't hear a word against them. Listen, Darren's not here this week. Don't get started. So, yeah, basically, Square Enix, apparently, I mean, this is only from what I'm reading online, so take it with as large a fistful of salt as you like. But apparently they're not doing so well at the moment. And their idea for solving this sort of cash flow problem that they're having is not to release their games on half of the consoles. I mean, put it on Nintendo Switch, great. Put it on PS4, brilliant. Put it on PS5, no problem. Why are they not releasing anything on Xbox? This Pixel remaster, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 16, they're not releasing it on sort of half of the infrastructure. And to me, it just seems like a stupid business idea. Right. You know, you read all this about Activision and ABK and all that kind of stuff. And whether or not that's going to go ahead and whether or not they'll release COD on the PlayStation. Well, to me, it's sort of basic business. If you want people to pay for your games, you have to release it on the console that they use.
There you go.
I've heard something to add to this. So I think it's safe to assume that Final Fantasy 16 is PlayStation have bought exclusivity rights for that. But I think the other stuff, I think from what I've heard, Microsoft have done something that Square Enix aren't happy with, and we don't know what that is. But
is it make an Xbox?
I don't know, but this is them sort of saying, right, well, F you then, basically. We're only going to be doing these on other things for the time being.
Yeah, it just seems bonkers, you know. So, yeah, great. All right, then. So you're going to sit there on your high horse and go, well, we're not going to release our games on your thing then. It's like, well, you've just cut your nose off to spite your face, as my mother would say.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's me and my little mini rant over. So, over to you, Neil. What do you think?
Oh, I love Square. I've got nothing but great words to say about them.
Nice, Neil. I like it. Neil, I'm going to
I don't hate anybody today. I love everyone.
Neil, let's talk about Ubisoft. Let's go into them with their Ubisoft $15.99 a month. What is it? Is that how much it is?
$12.99.
$12.99. I'm so sorry.
No, $12.99 is only PC.
Sorry. Yeah.
Is it $14.99?
$14.99
if you want to play it on the Xbox as well.
So Ubisoft Plus has come. It's live on Xbox, and you'll get your subscription. You can get all the Ubisoft games up until all of them, and it's promoting that you'll be able to play the 3 games it's got coming out: the Mirage, the Skull and Bones, and something else coming up soon in this year. So, is that a good deal, Neil? You think this is a good thing?
At the moment, no. But I was in the same camp when Game Pass came out, and that's been switched totally the other way. That's a no-brainer now. At the moment, if you've wanted to play a Ubisoft game, you've probably bought that Ubisoft game. You've probably played that Ubisoft game. So why would you pay for a monthly subscription unless you're brand new to the Xbox ecosystem? Then it will work. And going forward, give it a year, 2 years, once Ubisoft have put some more games out there and day one games have gone in, then it comes into its own. But at the moment, I would say $14.99 is about $14.99 too much.
And I guess all the games that were on Game Pass that were Ubisoft, they've gone, have they? They're not on Game Pass anymore. That's so. Because there was a few on there.
There was a few of the Assassin's Creeds on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still there.
They used to be the Division.
I haven't seen them come out of Game Pass, so.
Ah, okay. Maybe
No, I might be wrong there, but yeah, it's good that you can get games like Anno 1800 that's just released, things like that. That works, but most people would have played Valhalla, wouldn't they? Most people would have played Origins and Odyssey, the AC games. So can't see them.
I mean, you've got all the Assassins there. You've got all the Far Cries and the Divisions, the Ghost Recon, Immortals. Yeah, I mean, it's Riders Republic, which Richard did last year. So the Crews are there, which Neil loves. Watch Dogs. So it's if you haven't, exactly. If you haven't played them, it's a good deal.
Yeah. But they've also thrown all the gold editions and ultimate editions and stuff in, haven't they? I don't really understand that. I'm not kind of big on gold and ultimate editions anyway. I just want to play the base game, thanks, and that'll suit me out. So yeah, I don't know.
I think they are adding DLC in, aren't they, as part of that $14.99. So the DLC is day one into there as well.
Right.
So like Immortals, Phoenix Rising, that DLC is included. Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah.
There's a lot of content there. But like you said, the biggest thing is like you might have played a lot of these games before. I think it would have made sense for them to launch this when they were doing like Mirage is coming out for Assassin's Creed. You know.
Yeah, but when's that coming out?
Yeah, I think that's
right at the same time as Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they can't sit on Ubisoft Plus for another 2 years.
I know, but
it's ready. But
then that would have been if you would have had that as your thing. When you hold that and then go, okay, now you can get this game, one of the AAA games. Now, if you get the scripting, people are going to sign up for it straight away. I think.
Yeah, but it's not doing any harm having it here now, is it? You don't have to subscribe now.
No.
And when those games do come out, you then go and take a couple of months worth and play it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't give that emphasis, that kind of big sales point of view of going like that. You might just suddenly go, I don't need to bother. I'll just get the game after this because it's old news. It's not a relaunch. But I think everyone's a bit shocked.
But it does feel very much like Game Pass in its infancy.
Yeah,
that was rubbish. The first year, Game Pass was rubbish.
Yeah,
and then they started chucking the day one stuff in there. Started releasing stuff, and then they started putting a lot in every month, and that's when it built up. Obviously, Ubisoft, they can only put certain games in it, can't they? Their own games.
Yeah.
So they're more limited there. But yeah, there's potential, but the $14.99 seems a bit steep, doesn't it?
It does seem quite steep. Division live stream is coming tomorrow, isn't it? I think it is tomorrow. Maybe I've got that wrong. I'm trying to bring it up. The future of the Division franchise in live stream this week. I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, Thursday. So the things they're going to talk about here, they're still putting out Division 2 content, the new mode called Descent mode, and Year 5 plans. Jesus, and and there's the free-to-play Division spin-off called Heartland, which is we got announced back into 2021. We're going to get a new preview of that. And I think there's another thing called Division Resurgence. But they've got their big event coming 12th of June. I would love to see a Division 3. I really had a good time with Division. I know Richard knew you played it for a bit. But I had a really good time. Me and James had a great time playing that game. So, or both those games. So it would be, I'd love a Division 3. Richard, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see a bit more of Heartland because that is coming to console. I think that Resurgence is going to be a free-to-play mobile title, so I'll see before making a decision on that. But yeah, like Year 5 of Division 2 or Division 3, I think I know which one I'd choose at this point.
Definitely. You've played it, haven't you, Neil? I remember seeing you in the Dart Zone.
On the Division?
Yeah,
I played them both.
That was just in Southampton, though, wasn't it?
I probably didn't play either as much as I wanted to. but I have played them both.
Yeah. Have you not played it, Paul? It's not for you, was it?
Oh, I love them.
Oh, there you go.
I love the Division games. I
Brilliant.
had a lot of time for them. I played the first one to death, completed it, got all the achievements and everything. And then the second one, I played it, and they released new things. I think the last time I played it was when they released the, was it the Warlords of New York or something they released? Yeah. So I played it then, and I've not really gone back to it since. So, but yeah, year 5, it sounds like that dead horse is going to fall to bits. So the way they're flogging it. So yeah, stop messing about and make Division 3. That might be something that would encourage me to look at this Ubisoft thing.
Well, yeah, that's good. Fingers crossed. Me and James, James, are fans of the podcast, we know James he's on here, and we played both those games together on both those games.
I love the way you said fans of the podcast, like there's more than one.
I know, exactly. But every now and again, we both got the DLC pack for Division 2. I think it's like the New York one or something, and then we load it up. We can't remember anything, and we wander around the White House for a little bit, and then go, "Should we play FIFA?" We literally can't remember how we start the DLC, what happens, who we are. Yeah,
it's when you've not played something for so long.
Yeah,
unless you're going back every maybe 6 weeks or so, you just forget, don't you? Yeah. We're old.
We're old. We can't. Yeah, we need things. Need a hand with things. Good. That's Division stuff. Oh God, I lost something there. Just quickly, a little bit of news. I just want your opinion on it. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's awful. There's this Switch hacker, Gary Bowser.
This was great.
He got released from jail because he basically, I think, was doing like mods on Switches. I think that's what it is. He's my age, and so he was like ramping them up. I think into different things. He got caught. And he's part of a hacker group, and he got, I think, 30 months in jail, if that's right. Let me just check my facts. Yeah, he got. But he basically...
Facts in 161 episodes before.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
40 months. 40 months in prison. I don't want to go to prison. And he's been ordered by Nintendo to pay £14.5 billion in damages, which a £10 million payment to Nintendo is considered the first priority. And in his interview, he's claimed he's paid $175 to date, which is from the job he was doing in prison. With the agreement, the maximum they can take is between 25 and 30% of your monthly gross income. And he's 53. This is going to take forever.
I remember reading it, and it said he had to earn something like $40 million in order to be able to pay this off, and he was 53. So,
is this just
unless he goes back to hacking, I don't think he's going to do it.
This is a warning rather than the money, isn't it, from Nintendo? They know they're not going to get that. It's just like a big, this is what happens. Yeah.
Don't mess with Nintendo, I think, is the...
Nintendo.
I'm more concerned by his name. Has he changed his name?
That's brilliant. Yeah, I love that.
That's his actual name, isn't it? It's just
thanks for making a mess out of Nintendo. Perfect.
Okay, good. Neil, I'm going to go to you because I want you to tell us all about this brilliant competition. What is it? Well, we've teased them, even though it's now an hour nearly. So the 45-minute mark.
If you 45 minutes that you promised.
If you would have gone to that, you'd have heard about.
People have gone skipping looking for that.
Paul's ranting. That's what they would have heard. They would think, is there a competition in this? Is there a secret code for
these
this?
Bloody giveaways.
Yeah. Neil, tell us about it.
We've got a couple of giveaways actually. Oh. The first one is for Medieval Dynasty, which comes out today or tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this.
See what I mean? It's not easy.
Exactly. Yeah, it released on Xbox Series X 6 months ago. They've now just released it on Xbox One today on the 20th of April. We have got a load of codes for that to give away. 10 in all, I do believe. So there's that giveaway. So keep an eye out for that on the site. You'll just need to click through, follow the instructions. It's simple enough. It's basically just follow us on socials and enter a few details, really. And then we've got another one where you can win a controller. So we reviewed the Nacon, I never know how to pronounce their name, Pro Compact Controller a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than a year ago. Quite a nice little controller, but it is little, as the name suggests. It's a compact controller. And so we've got 4 of those to give away in various colours. So again, hunt down the link on the site, follow the instructions, hit our socials up, and you could win one of those as well. So
Great.
Yes.
And you can find the details in the podcast notes as well.
And I'll stick the details in the podcast notes as well, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Lovely. Thank you, Neil. Gentlemen, what are we looking forward to next week? Richard?
Advance Wars on the Nintendo Switch, a remaster remake of the first 2 games of those. Really looking forward to playing those again.
Okay. What about you, Paul?
Well, now I've got a working telly. I'm looking forward to getting to grips with Minecraft Legends, which released yesterday, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And for some bizarre reason, my wife has given me permission to go fishing both days this weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that.
God, wow. Good.
Fishing in real life, not virtually as well.
Yeah, good. Neil, what about you?
I have permission this weekend to go cycling, so I'm going to do that on Saturday. Not that I need permission, but I'm doing it anyway. And I'm also
he says because she's not listening to the podcast.
No, she always listens to the podcast. So, I'll be good.
You won't be riding anywhere with broken legs.
And I want to play Dead Island 2, so I think I will play that and play that.
Good.
I need a co-op buddy for Dead Island 2.
Okay, I don't think I ever played the first one, and I didn't like Riptide. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't like that one. But I think I'm going to like this one. Your review sold it to me, so there we go. Co-op buddy, and then a round of golf afterwards.
Good.
Hang on.
Sounds good.
I will say that Neil is the world's worst co-op buddy. I've been waiting for him to come and play Forza 5 for about 3 weeks now. And
That's
he
Forza
still
though,
hasn't
isn't it?
turned up. Yeah, but Forza's great.
It's an
I don't know why
18-month
you
game
want me to
now
play
at this
Forza.
point.
All right, gentlemen. This is the end of the podcast. Don't start a row. Right. Now, I've got nothing to look forward to. Star Wars game, is that out next week?
Yes.
Could be.
Good.
No, it's out this week, isn't it? The 30th.
Is it this week?
Is it this week or next week? I don't know what freaking day it
I'm
is.
looking forward to that one. I'll probably be looking forward to that again next week. So, Neil, if we need to get hold of you, where do we get hold of you?
Oh, me. On Instagram, Neil363.
Good. And Richard, what about you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and my handle is @Dobbo1912.
And Paul, what about you?
Can I just ask a question before you
Jesus.
start grabbing my handle?
Yeah.
What is Instagram? I mean, I'm 50-year-old. I don't know what do you do with Instagram?
All about the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pictures of what?
Fish. Just
Look
fish.
at my Instagram, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that means I have to log into Instagram and stuff, doesn't it?
I think you can look on the web.
Can I?
Yeah.
Honestly, this new world is so confusing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll have a look on Instagram, Neil.
Yeah.
If the first picture I see of you in Lycra, that means I'm off the platform forever.
You'll see pictures of the superbike on there.
Yeah.
Of the super bike. Ooh. Right, cool. Anyway, sorry. So if you want to grab my handle, it's @XboxHubPaul on the Twitters.
Can I ask a question?
No, you've got it. I'm going to go.
Yeah, of course you can, Neil. What's
this
up?
Twitter?
It's Elon Musk's bid for world domination.
If you want to find out next week about new formats like Instagram and Twitter, you can get hold of us.
I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard of this MySpace?
Yes.
I think that's going to be big.
I love MySpace. I miss MySpace. Right, I'm going to go now. GB Briley at Twitter, Twitch. But for now, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
What's Twitch?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You had found all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub, and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.